Hello, this is Jamie Hatton, your Letcher County attorney. The 2012 property taxes are now delinquent, so I thought it would be a good idea to get on the government channel like I did last year and explain to people what that means, give them more information on the delinquent tax collection process, and give them some ideas of things that they can do to protect themselves and to keep from potentially losing their property. How the tax calendar works is on April the 15th of every year, property taxes officially become delinquent. On that date, the Sheriff's Department turns over all property taxes which he has not collected to that point over to Winston Meade, the Letcher County Clerk. That's when they are officially delinquent. And at that point, that's when my office gets involved with working with people trying to get these delinquencies cleaned up. What we do is 30 days after these taxes become delinquent, we send out a letter to every delinquent taxpayer in Letcher County. The last couple of years we've sent out 1,400 letters within 30 days of the delinquency date. We send those letters to inform people that their taxes are in fact delinquent and what steps they need to take to clear this up, whether it be coming to my office and setting up a payment plan or going into Winston Meade's office and paying those taxes. Invariably, we get back oftentimes hundreds of undeliverable or returned letters that we send out to the delinquent taxpayers because the address which is on file with the PVA's office and with the clerk's office has not been updated. The letter goes out, it comes back to us. So all these hundreds of people don't get noticed that their property taxes are in fact delinquent. When we get those undeliverable letters back, we compile them and compile a list, and we take it to Randy Hall, the PVA's office, notifying them these are the persons that we don't have a good address on. At that time, the PVA's office attempts to try and get more updated addresses or better addresses for all these people. The ones that they can, they inform us, and we update our files. 30 days after those letters go out, we again send another letter informing all the persons as of that date how many unpaid or delinquent property taxes are still out there. We always send out over 1,000 of those 60-day notice letters as well. The next step in the collection of the property taxes is every summer, just about after the time I've sent out my 60-day notices and haven't gotten any response, that's when the newspaper article, when the county clerk's office prints in the newspaper the list of all delinquent taxpayers in the county. There's usually a lot of stuff going on around that time, and a lot of people get really concerned when they see that name in there, get upset for various reasons. They didn't get a bill, all those things, and that's why we try to send out all these letters to notify people before it goes in the paper, to try and save that embarrassment and all that hassle. What that notice in the paper is telling you, if you're on that list, your properties are eligible, the taxes on your property are eligible for sale at the annual tax sale, which happens every fall. Usually happens around September, October of every year. That's when the tax sale actually goes down. You need to get in and try to set up a payment arrangement with my office or get to Winston's office and get those things paid before that tax sale. At that tax sale, generally, about a dozen, up to a dozen, third-party purchasers is what they're called. They meet in Winston Meade's office that morning, and they sit down and they've got a list. They've got basically that same list that's listed in the newspaper minus anyone that's paid between that newspaper article and the sale date. And they just go through buying up property tax bills. They buy them for the face value of the delinquent property tax bill, and they buy those things as an investment. Once they buy them, sit on them for a year, they can then file suit to collect that debt or to sell your property to collect that debt. And invariably, the ones they purchase, they have incurred some expenses, some attorney's fees, some title opinion work, filing fees, all sorts of expenses that get really high. If anyone you've talked to, any of your friends or family, have ever had a tax bill bought, ask them about their experience, how quickly that $400 tax bill can become a $4,000 tax bill. And they have a very big stick when it comes to collecting these delinquent property taxes. The stick they've got is the power to actually have foreclose on your property and have it auctioned off on the courthouse steps. And the priority of those liens, how it goes, is even if people think they've got a mortgage on their home, so they can't do this. These delinquent taxes have a super priority lien or mortgage on the property. So if the property is sold, the delinquent third-party purchaser's money comes right off the top. So they're going to get their money back. That's why they purchase these things. They get 12% interest, any costs or fees that they're out, and they're guaranteed to be paid by selling the property. Many different companies purchase these tax bills. Some are easy to work with. They'll let you make payments on it, stretch it out, and the interest will keep running. But they'll let you pay with them. Many of them, or I would even say most of them, are not interested in payment plans. They know they're going to get all their money when your property is sold. So all they'll take is a cashier's check or a money order for the full amount, which is oftentimes thousands of dollars. And it puts people in desperate or terrible situations where they have got to try to borrow the money if they can to get these things paid off. They give you short deadlines. Pay us in full within this short period of time or your property is going to be auctioned off. And I don't want to see that happen. No one wants to see that happen. Anyone that lives in Letcher County or works in Letcher County don't want to see you have to go through that. We've got plans in place. That's why we run it in the newspaper. I send all these letters. That's why we're doing this television show. There are things that can keep that from happening. I know a lot of you are laid off. A lot of people are out of work in Letcher County right now, and it's a terrible situation. Many of your bills may not be getting paid, and each month you have to make a choice. What bills are we going to pay this month? I'm here to tell you, this is not a bill that you can ignore. A tax bill is not a bill that you can ignore. It's like missing a mortgage payment on your home, because if you don't get these paid, you can actually lose the property. Go in to Winston Meade's office if you can and pay him in full before that tax sale this fall, or before this summer, then the next couple months if you don't want to worry about your name in the paper. But if you just can't do that, some tax bills are pretty high if your property is valuable. Come and see me. I'm located on Main Street, 95 Main Street, right next door to Everidge Funeral Home, straight across the street from Letcher Funeral Home. Come by and see me. We're here every day, Monday through Friday. We can work it out. We can get this thing done. Many times you can't write a big check if your unemployment check's not that high, or you're on a fixed income, something that you just can't go and write a big check or pay a big bill like this. I will work with you. Because I hear the stories. The people, when they get the foreclosure letter from these third-party taxpayers, they come see me invariably, want to know, what can I do? What can I do? And oftentimes, all I can tell them is, you're going to have to pay it. You're going to have to pay it on their terms, or you're going to lose your property. And it's been many sad and really terrifying circumstances in fellow Letcher Countyans that are worried about this process. It doesn't have to get to that. Come and see me. We will sit down. We will look at your tax bill, whether it's just the 2012 tax bill or if you've got many years' worth of delinquent taxes. Bring them in. We'll sit and look at them. I'll be understanding of your situation. As long as you can make the monthly payment that we agree on, you won't be forced or held to any number that you just can't make. Come down and sit down and talk with me. We'll look at the numbers. We'll make sure it makes sense for the county as its part in collecting taxes, and for you and what income you have, to see that these things get paid. Oftentimes people come and see me and say, well, I just didn't get a bill. That goes back to the problem of oftentimes people don't put updated addresses in the courthouse and get it recorded properly, and you just won't get a bill. I'm telling you, if you live in this county and you're not renting your property off someone, that property has a tax bill associated with it. Just because you didn't get a bill doesn't mean that you don't owe a bill, or you could risk losing your property. Many people in this county live on heir property, or they live on property people call tied up in heirs. You live on granny's property or in the old home place or something, and the tax bill is going to grandma or great-great-grandma, her old address, her old HC address that gets returned undeliverable. And they just don't think about, well, that great-great-granny's tax bill can be purchased. And the property that you're living on, that your parents lived on, and that you hope your kids someday will live on, that can be auctioned off and sold by these purchasers to get those tax bills paid. So if you didn't get a bill, you most likely owe a bill. Go down to the courthouse, see Winston, see the PVA's office, find out what's up, get it straightened out so that you'll start getting the bills going forward. You don't want to get in a situation where your tax bill gets sold. It's very important. It's very important. You don't want to risk losing your property over this. But again, I would urge you, get your address updated. Get the tax billing information updated. Come and see me if you have a delinquent tax bill, and I'll be glad to work with you. If you've got any questions, if you're not sure about something, come on down. I don't mind. That's what I'm here for. That's what you all elected me for. I am glad to sit down and talk with you and discuss delinquent taxes. That is one of the big responsibilities that county attorneys have, and so I've become very familiar with the law on delinquent taxes. Come down. I'll give you advice. I won't charge you a dime. We can talk about these taxes, and we can figure out what it takes to get it right.